If you're a gamer, you know that every single millisecond, every tiny pixel, it all counts. So today, we're going to dive deep into the top-ranked gaming mice for 2025, and we're going to find the one that will really, truly elevate your game. And I mean, that's a serious question, right? We spend all this time honing our skills, practicing our aim. But what if that piece of hardware in your hand is the one thing keeping you from hitting that next level? Choosing the right mouse isn't just about what feels good. It's a huge strategic decision. It directly impacts your precision, your speed, and your chances of winning. So here's our game plan for today. First, we'll talk about why your mouse is so darn crucial. Then we'll demystify all that tech jargon. After that, we're taking a tour of the top contenders across 3 different price points. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with a simple framework to help you pick the perfect mouse for you. Sound good? Let's go! All right, so first things first, why does your mouse matter so much? Look, it's not just some flashy accessory with RGB lights. A real high-performance gaming mouse is a precision tool. It's the thing that translates your hand movements into in-game action with, hopefully, perfect accuracy. And hey, don't just take my word for it. The experts over at Living Hive put it perfectly. In those split-second moments, the ones that make or break a match, your mouse can literally be the deciding factor. Okay, let's break down the jargon. When you're shopping around, you're going to see a ton of acronyms in big numbers. We're going to do a quick translation of the most important ones so you know exactly what to look for. First up, you'll always see DPI, or dots per inch. Think of this as your mouse's sensitivity setting. Now, while a super high DPI lets you zip your cursor across the screen like lightning, a lot of pros actually turn their DPI way down. Why? It gives them more deliberate, controlled aiming. It's all about finding that sweet spot that works for your style. Next up, let's talk wireless. A lot of the best mice have 2 modes. You can think of hyperspeed or any of those 2.4 gigahertz connections as your game mode. It's all about being ultra fast and lag-free. Then you've got Bluetooth. That's kind of like your marathon mode. It uses way less power, which means you get way more battery life for work or just chilling in a more casual game. And finally, programmable buttons. Oh man, these are your secret weapons. You can assign really complex commands, or what we call macros, to a single button press. This is an absolute game changer in MMOs or strategy games where you're juggling like a dozen different abilities at once. All right, now that we know the tech, it's time to meet the champions. These are the mice sitting at the absolute top of the leaderboard. They offer the best performance, period, for those who just refuse to compromise. So the top 2 contenders are both from Razer, but they're built for different kinds of players. The Basilisk V3X, with its 9 customizable buttons, it takes the best overall crown for just ultimate control. But right on its heels is the DeathAdder V2X, which earns best value for its legendary comfort and insane efficiency. So let's dive into the Basilisk first. You can just tell this thing is built for total control. It's got a high-res 18K DPI sensor for crazy precision, hyperspeed wireless so there's no lag, and a whopping 9 customizable buttons. This is the mouse for the gamer who wants an answer for every single situation at their fingertips. Okay, now let's flip over to the DeathAdder. Its whole claim to fame is that award-winning ergonomic shape. I mean, it is trusted by pros for a reason. It is just so comfortable, especially for those long gaming sessions. And while its sensor is a little less sensitive at 14K DPI, its performance is still absolutely top tier. And its battery life, well, it's just phenomenal. No, seriously, just look at that number. 615 hours on a single battery using Bluetooth. That is over 25 days of non-stop use. For a high-performance wireless mouse, it's just staggering. But hey, what if you don't need the absolute tippity-top of performance? I get it. This next category gives you those elite features and that rock-solid reliability, but without that top-tier price tag. So here we've got 2 fantastic options, and they kind of have different philosophies. The Red Dragon M612 Pro is a total chameleon. It gives you wired, 2.4 gigahertz, and Bluetooth connections, plus 9 programmable buttons. That is incredible versatility for this price. And then you have the Logitech G304, which is just a masterclass in efficiency. It uses their legendary Hero sensor and Lightspeed wireless to squeeze 250 hours of gameplay out of a single AA battery. And for our last category, we've got the budget brawlers. These are the mice that prove you do not have to spend a fortune to get a competitive edge. These things pack a surprising punch for their price. The undisputed budget pick here is the Evo Fox Banshee, and it really just shows what's possible for less cash. I mean, look at this. You get triple connectivity, a solid 10,000 DPI sensor, 8 programmable buttons, and even onboard memory to save your settings. That is a feature set you would normally expect to find on a much, much pricier mouse. So, we've seen the champions, the value picks, and the budget brawlers. The big question is, how do you actually choose? Let's take all this info and distill it down into a really simple framework to help you decide. Let's start by looking at those top 2 again, because they really represent a fundamental choice you have to make. Are you the kind of player who needs ultimate control with tons of buttons for macros, maybe for an MMO? Then the Basilisk is your mouse, hands down. Or do you value pure, proven comfort for those long sessions in an FPS? Well, that's where the DeathAdder just shines. So here it is in 3 simple steps. First, just decide which tier fits your budget. Be realistic. Second, think about the main games you play. Do you need a bunch of buttons, or is raw precision the most important thing? And third, be honest about comfort. If you play for hours and hours on end, an ergonomic shape like the DeathAdders might be the most important feature of all. And ultimately, this is the main takeaway. There is no single best mouse for everybody. It just doesn't exist. All these rankings and specs, they're just tools to help you find the mouse that is perfectly tailored to your budget, your games, and your hand. So I'll leave you with this question. Now that you're armed with all this knowledge, I want you to take another look at your own setup. Think about your playstyle. Which one of these contenders is the one that's going to unlock your true potential and give you that winning edge?